Hello, welcome back to the SCW Wrestling Podcast. This is once again your limited edition pro wrestling review of the previous show at the Windmill Centre, and I'm joined by none other than General Manager, limited edition pro wrestling, my good friend, Mr. John Joe Aubrey. How are you this evening, John Joe?
Hello, George. Yeah, very good, my friend. Very good.
Excellent. You sound a lot happier than the last time we spoke.
Yeah. Well, no tables involved this time, so I'm a bit more relaxed this week. I will say that.
Definitely. What was your overall feel, sort of this past show before we go into it in detail?
I enjoyed the show. I think I put together a good show. Trying to, show management or whatever that I am doing a good job, and I think the fans walked away happy. Everyone gave 110% that night. It was amazing. So from start to finish, I thought the show was perfect.
Yeah, it was a really, really positive, good show. I must say, though, that I think clearly the general manager, Danny Walsh, was certainly trying to test you when he made you be referee for the night to sort of prove yourself. How do you feel about that?
Well, one, you referred to him as the general manager. That would be me, George. I am still LEP general manager, even though I was refereeing at that show. I stepped in. I did actually, step in. People have asked me whether Danny forced me to do that, and it, he didn't force me. I did put myself forward for the pure fact of we didn't have any referees available. So yeah, I had to step in, but I will be resuming my normal general manager duties at the next show.
Oh, we look forward to that. Okay, so let's go into it then. So match one was Romany Rocco with some brand new theme music, a brand new type of attitude, a brand new character from Kingsway Massive, so I believe. What did you make of Romany Rocco? Brand new music, brand new arrogance. It was a bit different, wasn't it?
Oh, it was horrible. I hate chavs at the best. I don't care if any chavs are listening. I hate chavs at the best of times. They are annoying. They have annoying accent. They're just horrible. And I preferred Romany the way he was. You know what I mean? So I don't know how everyone else at Queensway Mass. Anyway, well, yeah, carry on, George.
Yeah, okay. So it was Romany Rocco with a brand new attitude, facing and returning Leo Bryan. Clearly, Leo Bryan was fantastic in the triple threat at the last Super Show. Clearly, this guy is one of the most high-flying wrestlers in LEP. I thought it was a really, really good match. It was fantastic to see Leo Bryan back. The guy certainly brought the crowd to a new level of excitement. Like some of the moves he was delivering. And this match, you could tell there's some hatred there. Leo Bryan threw Romany Rocco into a door outside. This match was full of everything. I think Lee was trying to teach Romany a lesson that just because you think you're hard, maybe you're not.
Well, yeah, Leo Bryan, he's fantastic. He's just a fantastic wrestler. He may not be at every show, but when he does, when he is free to wrestle on a show, he'll give you 110% every time. And I've got a lot of time for Leo Bryan. So, the next time you can see him will be 29th of October at the Super Show. So, if you're a fan of Leo Bryan, if you saw what the stuff he can do in the ring is amazing. He's great at his moonsaults, great athlete. So, but yeah, the past show, I think it was a case of trying to show, it's all about respect, and there's no respect from Romany Rocco, the way he was talking to Lee, the way he was talking to the fans, me. So, yeah, Lee came out and, he taught him some respect in that match.
Definitely. I think some of the highlights of the match, Lee executed a superplex off the top rope, which was devastating. Lee also performed a standing somersault. Romany executed a flatliner. And basically, the way the finish happened at the end of the match was basically Romany was in his own world, so to speak. He went to get a metal bar to try and cheat his way to victory, as if a metal bar belongs in the wrestling ring. He then obviously got distracted. Someone other Lee was able to counter, and he executed a twisting thunderbomb. And then he was able to execute the moonsault. My God, that moonsault was devastating. It seems to get the job done, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the height he gets off that moonsault is unbelievable. So, he comes crashing down all his might as he comes crashing down, and yeah, that gave him the win. So yeah, great showing from Lee. It was, it was a good showing from Romany. I mean, he did try to cheat to win, but I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know where he got that metal pole from. Probably a skip outside or something. You know what chavs are like. But yeah, really, really happy with the result of that. And yeah, great match.
Really, really good match to start the show. Really positive opening. We then had Vinnie Clay, the Mad Dog Vinnie Clay's music hit. And I'm thinking, oh, this should be good. Obviously, Vinnie Clay, at the previous show, had said that Danny Walsh had made his life a nightmare by AK being probably the Master of Shadows or something like that. And out stepped Danny Walsh, dressed out like Vinnie Clay. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And you could just see the arrogance in Dan. So Danny's walked out, strolled down to the ring. He did all the mannerisms of the Mad Dog Vinnie Clay as well. And it's just sort of, he's announcing Dan then made the shocking announcement that Vinnie Clay is no longer part of LEP. Do you think the reason why Vinnie Clay's left LEP is largely because of Vinnie Clay was on the money when he said that Danny was running Dead Man's Hand?
No, I mean,
It's just arrogance with Danny. The way that he was there sort of strutting. I know he's the general manager of LEP. I know that he runs a large part of LEP, and just the way he is though in the ring, the way he's like putting people in place, the way he's going to the crowd that it's up to me, you're here because of me, I can sack everyone, I'm in control, and it's like, it sort of really undermined you, I felt a bit. Again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Vinny really walked out, so to speak. Dan, it's his company, and he can get rid of who he wants to get rid of. This is the fact, it is his company. He can hire and fire who he wants. Danny has got a big ego at the moment and a power trip, and this whole Dead Man's Hand thing it's screwing him up, and you can see it. He's not the same man he was anyway. He just seems to be more arrogant. He still sees himself as God. I thought we got away from that, but yeah, he still sees himself as, as a god. I mean, how much more? How big of an ego do you want?
Yeah, I could see that you sort of looking at him at the corner of your eye, and you were just tightened. Some of the stuff he said, you thought was unbelievable, and the way that he was sort of doing the mannerisms, he got quite a good reaction from the crowd. But I just thought it was you sacked Vinnie Clay now, and yet I'm sure Danny, you can't keep doing this to the wrong people. I'm sure eventually you'll do it to the wrong person. But let's hope this god Danny Walsh is only a temporary thing. I really hope he goes back to just being pretty marvellous and being a bit more humble, so to speak.
Well, yeah, let's hope so.
We can wish. Let's move on to more positive things. Okay, so match 2 was for the inaugural LEP women's title, and this was tied, obviously, at 1-1 between Ruthless Ruth and Jackson and Adira. And I was really looking forward to seeing this. Clearly, the other two matches they've had have been really hard hitting. Certainly, these women obviously go for it. And what really impressed me was that Ruthless Ruth came out so focused, and there was no War Machine. Do you think she's probably got rid of the War Machine, maybe?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I think she's kicked him to the curb. She don't need him. As simple as that. She don't need him. I banned him from ringside, and look, she's still getting the wins, and she's your first ever LEP women's champion. She works, whether you love her or hate her, she works harder than anyone else in that academy. I'm going to say that. She works so hard inside and outside the ring, and she's proved why she's the next big thing of women's wrestling in the UK and possibly, all over the world. If she keeps going the way she's going, she will be going that far. So yeah, I was really happy. I will admit, I was really happy that Ruthless won it. I would have been happy if Adira won it, because both of them are tremendous in the ring, and they're great athletes, and yeah, they give it their all, and they're hard hitting, and it was a fan. I was there to referee. I had to step out of the way some because I was going to get taken out, otherwise they were vicious. But yeah, to be able to say that Ruth Jackson is the first ever LEP women's champion, I think that's very, it's true. It's right.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
feels right.
I think I've got to say about this. Ruthless was really on her game, so to speak. I don't know where she was taking coaching or got information on what scouting she'd done, but the way she broke down Adira in this match by targeting her arm continually, and it was a ruthless side of Ruth Jackson we've not really seen. We've seen her before putting her body on the line to try and win matches, but you could tell she was focused. She was there for a purpose. And this match was some fantastic moments in the match. I thought particularly the Adira Thunder Driver earlier in the match was quite devastating. I was amazed that Ruthless was able to kick out. And clearly, Ruthless executed her dirty deeds, and once again it was the arm. She actually managed to get the women's title by submission. I haven't really seen this side of Ruthless Jackson. Whoever's given her the coaching, clearly this technical side really is another dangerous avenue she can offer in the ring.
Yeah. When I say she works outside the ring, as hard as she does inside the ring, when I say that, she studies her opponents. And, even though these women have only faced off, 3 times now, they know each other very, very well. And you could see that, you could see that in the first match, none of them really knew each other But because of the War Machine, Ruthless got the win. The second one, you could see they started to know each other. This time Adira was able to get the win on the second match, and by the third match you could see they knew each other very well. They were countering each other. But yeah, Ruth going for the arm was genius. I completely forgot she had the Kimura lock in her arsenal, because you always see her use the dirty deeds or something like that, but no, she broke out the Kimura, and that was the end of that.
I think it was impressive how Ruthless was able to be so tenacious and even able to kick out of the rolling cannonball that Adira's legendary known for as well. I thought this was really good. And Ruthless with Jackson and Adira's match was of that quality that the fans actually were getting behind Ruthless, which I was surprised. Clearly the fans, it was a strange punch, wasn't it? I think sort of people, you never know which way it was. I think Ruthless, being sort of the local person, got a real good response from the crowd, didn't she?
Well, yeah, definitely. I feel it was split down the middle. It was 50-50. Half wanted Adira to win, half wanted Ruth Jackson to win. So, yeah. The last couple of matches, the crowd were really hot on Adira, but it shows that Ruth is, she's one to watch, and the crowds and the fans are starting to see that she is definitely one to watch in this business.
Definitely. So, your first ever LEP Women's Champion, Ruthless Ruth Jackson, what a fantastic accolade and achievement. We then went on to Shane Palmer, the Phoenix Rising. He came out, he called out Danny Walsh, which was interesting. Shane Palmer challenged Danny Walsh to a match. This was interesting. I think obviously Danny came out. Once again, Danny showed many signs of being arrogant. And once again, he obviously felt he was too good to wrestle Shane. He said he beat Shane already previously at Great Parks in Paynton in the LEP World Title Tournament. But no, I thought it was really wrong. I was surprised Danny didn't take the challenge. Or do you think that's sensible? So when Danny's got a match coming up for the LEP title tournament.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was great to see that fire lit underneath Shane Palmer, and I was surprised when he called Danny out, and I see. If I was able to do it that night, which I could have done, but I've had to have a think, and in the very near future, I'm going to have to book that match, Danny Walsh versus Shane Palmer. Whether it will be for the LEP Championship, I don't know. You never know. Danny could win the tournament, so it could be a championship match that Shane Palmer will be looking at. But I will be booking that in the near future. Whether Danny likes it or not, he said no on the night to the challenge, walked out, but yeah, I don't care. I'm going to book that in the very near future.
Definitely. Danny also announced that the main event for the evening was going to be the reject Blake Harrison, the LEP Academy champion, and he'd be facing Shane Palmer. Shane Palmer had obviously earned the number one contendership match previously. He'd been on a fantastic win streak as well. But no, that's definitely a match we'd like to see. We then went into match 3. It was one half of the LEP Tag Team Champions, Jago, the sheer brute and monster, facing one of the biggest fan favourites of the night, none other than Gaznorks, the powerhouse, the power builder. And clearly this was a really interesting match. You've got one half of the Tag Team Champions facing a really formidable Gaznorks that's been on a really fantastic run. I thought this was really good. I thought it was a really interesting battle to see Gaznorks face somebody that's larger than him, so to speak. And I thought it was a real interesting battle of how far and how resilient Gaznorks could be.
Well, yeah, since coming back, he's been on fire. He's a big fan favourite. He's a favourite of mine in this tournament. And he's proven why he belongs at LEP, and it was a tough challenge for him to go up against Jago, but at the same time, it was a tough challenge for Jago to go up against Gaznorks, two guys that, one's muscle bound, one's just huge,
Yeah.
One, they're both vicious in their own right. They both strike hard. They're both great wrestlers. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I really didn't. Gaznorks trying to lift Jago up a couple of times, just couldn't muster the strength because Jago had worked on the ribs. We saw, a couple of abdominal stretches, everything like that, really working the ribs in the back. There was a camel clutch at one point. So, yeah, Jago, he had a game plan. You could see from the start he had a game plan, and he was lining up to weaken those ribs, hit the spear, go home, but it didn't work out for him.
Definitely. I think some of the highlights of the match were Jago executed a world's strongest slam. That was absolutely devastating. You could see the whole ring shake. Jago also executed a big splash. Somehow or another, Gaz was able to get the resilience and strength to kick out. But once again, Gaznort's got the win with a G4s. This G4s looks pretty unstoppable. I haven't yet seen him kick out of it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it is pretty unstoppable. It's for him to get Jago up on his shoulders and then spin him around over his head like that was amazing. And believe me, I was in there. The ring shook. I thought it was going to collapse, but no, it didn't. But the impact was, I could hear it in my head now. It was amazing, and that got Gaz the win.
Definitely, I was going to say, this is another big win, considering Jago was coming off a fantastic tag team title victory to become the first ever LEP tag team title champions with the British Thug Scott Johns. I thought Gaznort's further showed his credibility, why he deserves to be in this world title tournament. But no, Gaz is on to bigger things. He's obviously got his next challenge will be none other than Charlie Winston, which we are going to basically go into later in the podcast as well. Just going to go ahead now with the next match. So next match was rather entertaining. We had Draven, obviously from Dead Man's Hand, once again taunting the crowd, once again trying to get the crowd into a frenzy. This guy doesn't look like he knows where he is, or whatever's been said to him. Clearly this guy is a psychopath, clearly. And not outstepped, some familiar music hit even. Familiar music? No, that's incorrect. Sorry, I think I got the wrong one. No, some brand new music hit.
Go on, George, get it together, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
get it together.
No, some brand new music hit, and none other than what we know as Johnny Sicko came out. But it wasn't Johnny Sicko. He was dressed like different. He had a positive attitude, and he had a friend in his hand, none other than a bottle of rum. And I was like, well, Johnny came out, and I was like thinking, what the hell he's drinking? Drinking before a wrestling match? This isn't going to end well, probably. But no, he came out, he got the crowd into a frenzy, and he was getting more and more hyped up and more excited by every time he had a swig, so to speak. What did you make of this brand new Johnny Sicko?
It was weird. We usually hear this satanic chanting, and then all of a sudden these screams come over over the PA with this really thrashy rock music. And we had, this time it was Mr. Blue Sky was playing, and like you said, it wasn't outsteps Johnny Sicko, it was out dances Johnny Sicko. He came dancing, he was dancing on the pole, he had, like you say, a big bottle of rum in his hand, which, by the way, I will say, he finished by the flipping end of the match. And it was weird that I've never seen this side to Johnny Sicko ever. And strangely, I think like a lot of people, I kind of liked it. It was fun, it was entertaining. He is a fun drunk. I thought, definitely. When you think of Johnny Sicko, you think, bloody hell, you give Johnny Sicko booze, he's going to be even more vicious than what he is. It's the complete opposite. I like drunk Johnny Sicko. He's fun, entertaining. This was a very strange yet entertaining match.
Oh, definitely. So the drunken master Johnny Sicko came out then, and he basically was then sort of charging around the ring. Draven looked like he was about to sort of get quite angry and quite aggressive. He was getting really annoyed with you, wasn't he? He wanted the match to start. I think Draven was in his zone of war, or to destroy Johnny Sicko, so to speak. I think he basically was in his own zone. What did you make of sort of how intense Draven was in this match? He clearly isn't someone that's there to have fun, is he?
Well, no, you can tell by the look of him, he's not there to have fun. He's there to beat you up. He's slow, he's cunning, he's vicious, and he was getting very angry with me. He just wanted, Johnny to put the bottle down. And at first, Johnny refused, and he told me to ring the bell. So I thought, you know what, I'll give you a chance. He said he wasn't going to hit any of us with his bottle. He just wanted a drink. Ring the bell. So I rang the bell. So the match started, and there were some manoeuvres I couldn't. There were things Johnny was doing. One, I've never seen him do before, and two, to be able to do it when he's drunk is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I think brings a smile to my face, but I think one of the highlights of the match was the middle of the match, and Johnny went out the ring and started running around the arena like a victory lap even though the match was still going on. I thought that was rather entertaining. I'm sure you enjoyed that as well.
Well, yeah, the victory lap was amazing. It was one of the many things that even made me laugh. And it made a lot of people laugh in that building. Everyone was in stitches. We had the wheelbarrow where Johnny literally picked up Draven by the legs and just pushed him around the ring like a wheelbarrow. We had a sing-song with Johnny. He downed the rest of the bottle of rum. It was just comical from start to finish. Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I think really fantastic. Clearly, Draven executed a snap suplex, and Johnny managed to get some momentum. Because he was drunk and he fell off the ropes a couple of times. He did really well. I think his downfall, though, ultimately was almost like the bottle was calling him. It was almost like he couldn't bear to not be with his bottle, so to speak. And clearly, he went for the bottle, and ultimately, that's cost him. The way the match ended, Johnny basically did a fantastic big boot, and then Draven fell on the floor. Johnny went to the top ropes, and because of how intoxicated he was, he fell off the ropes, and it was an easy pinfall for Draven. Do you think this is quite a costly way, though, to be drunk at a wrestling match to sort of this ultimately cost Johnny the victory here?
Well, normally, if a wrestler or anything, whether it's drugs or alcohol, you get it could cause a suspension. You hear of it in WWE. It's not just WWE. It can happen in the smaller promotions to the bigger promotions. You either get a suspension or you get fined. And I'm not going to do that, and I don't think management are going to do that with Johnny, because what we saw from Johnny we liked, and I hope he's drunk at the next show. I really do. By the sounds of it, he's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on out the back. I think clearly not being given opportunities, maybe. He's maybe resorted to having a drink and realised he can be a better guy through it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But whatever it is, it's made Johnny Sicko entertaining.
Clearly, he's now one of the biggest favourites to all the fans. I'm sure he's one of the highlights at every show. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does next, though. Drunken Master Johnny Sicko is here to stay. It's just a shame he didn't get the win. Hopefully next time he'll avenge that.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm going to do a quick little plug as well. He's just, if you have Drunken Master Johnny Sicko's Facebook page, you would have noticed that he's got a new T-shirt design ready, which looks fantastic. Really good T-shirt design. I'm not sure when they'll be available, but I'm sure he will be announcing very, very soon when they will be available to purchase. You will probably be able to purchase them through the Facebook page, and I'm sure you'll be able to purchase them through LEP as well, at shows or what have you. But yes, that's the quick little plug there, George. So
definitely, I think, as I said, it was really, really positive and really refreshing to see Johnny in this new sort of guise and new sort of way of thinking and acting. But the most negative thing I have to say is, unfortunately, Deman's Hand got a victory, which is never nice. I never like talking about that, to be fair.
Well, yeah, at least I suppose we can say Draven didn't really do it by himself.
No, definitely.
So that's kind of a little win, I suppose. But things happen. I'm sure. Next time, hopefully Johnny will be a bit more aware. I'm not so sure though.
Definitely, no, I'm not so sure either. We then went on to our main event, which was basically for the LEP Academy title. We then had the LEP Academy champion, the Reject Blake Harrison, facing LEP Junior champion, the Phoenix Shane Palmer. This was a really, really fantastic match. There was lots of Shane wrestling. Shane really showed an aggressive side. He really targeted the Reject's legs and stuff. What did you make of this match before we go into sort of the details of it?
It was, phenomenal match in my eyes. I knew it was going to be a great match, but I didn't realise how great it was going to be. Both men, brought their A game that night. And I'll tell you what, Shane Palmer has stepped up since he's, he may still be junior champion at the moment, but he is starting to make his way up to the adults now. So, we'll be seeing a lot more of Shane Palmer, and I think we're going to see him as the next LEP Academy champion. I really can see it.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Let's go into the match then. So Shane was really, really ruthless. He done some fantastic moves like in Zaguri's. He went for the figure four. He executed switching music. The crowd behind him clearly was one of the crowd's most favourite people of the night. The reject obviously got so much reaction from the crowd. And the reject clearly, I don't know if he was injured before, he really wasn't on his game, so to speak. I think clearly he was struggling with the beating he took. He executed a Death Valley driver. He did some other bits and pieces. He done his SI elbow drop, which I still think is deadly. Really, really lethal. But no, the way the match ended was Blake executed, it was like a power slam, and he just fell on top of Shane Palmer. And clearly both wrestlers were exhausted by that point, and somehow or another, you reluctantly had to do the count, didn't you? And Blake Harrison, the reject, retained his Academy champion. This guy has now been Academy champion, since December? Since you had his help from his so-called friends, and yet he seems a bit unstoppable, doesn't he, unfortunately?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he said he could... do it on his own, and he's proven that he as much as we all hate him, he is proven he can do it on his own. He didn't cheat, but Shane really took it to him, and I was so proud of Shane. It was amazing because he's come a long way since I first met him. It must be 2.5 years now, 3 years. We travelled loads of places together, whether it's to see a show or, to be on the show or whatever. I was really proud of him and the way he handled himself. And the thing about Shane is you always hear that thing in WWE, obviously John Cena never give up. And it's like Shane will never give up. He never quits. If he can get his shoulder up, if he can keep going, he will find something. He will dig deep and he'll keep going.
He's definitely courageous. I think the amount of effort he puts in and the amount of improvement and stuff like that, I think clearly he's not going against anybody. He was going against the Academy champion and somebody that's sort of been pretty unstoppable in Blake Harrison. I think the way that Shane took Blake Harrison to the limit, when no one else really has done that so far, I would say recently, I think that was a really good match. It was a real shame that Shane couldn't get the win. I think obviously it's a bit worrying though that I would say that how Blake's able to get these victories, even though he's not having any help from his so-called brothers in Dead Man's Hand or whoever choose to help him, so to speak.
Well, yeah, it just shows that he's also improving, whether we like it or not. He has improved since he first came on the scene, and we still need to get that title back. I mean, we're running out of options, but I think Shane's the one who can do it. I really do think Shane can do it.
I just hope that Blake doesn't do the unthinkable and actually end up holding the belt for like a year. It's nearly a year now, isn't it? We're not that far away from December now. And that'll be
we don't want him to I wouldn't mind. I really want Jason King to keep his reign, because he made the LEP Academy Championship what it is today.
Yeah.
It's slowly getting there. It's creeping ever so much towards Jason's reign, because he was over a year. I think he was 390 something days. I think don't quote me on that, but I think it was around 390 days.
He held it for a very long time. A very credible champion was Jason Kidd before he lost to Maximo. I think hopefully that belt's off Blake Harrison as soon as possible. Clearly we need to get as much gold as possible off Dead Man's Hand, because I think clearly at the moment, although they've got the belts, they don't seem to be sort of as devastating as they once were, which is rather good for LEP and yourself as general manager, I believe.
Yeah, it's really weird. They're like magnets. They just attract gold, and I don't know why, but they seem to up their game when there's something on the line, when they know it's gonna, affect us as a business. They just seem to step up, and it's been really annoying because we should have the gold. All these guys that have stepped up and tried to, take them on, or they've tried to, just improve themselves. It just seems that, like I say, when it comes to gold and championships and everything like that, Dead Man's Hand step up. And it's annoying because, like I say, it hurts us as a business.
Definitely. Let's talk about something so negative. Let's talk about your up-and-coming shows. So October 14th at Great Parks Community Centre in Payton, we've got the LEP semi-final of the World Heavyweight title tournament. There's two fantastic matches. We're going to go into a bit of detail now while we've got some time just about the matches. So let's go to sort of match one first. So match one's going to be Gaz Norks, who's obviously on a fantastic run, facing Charlie Winston. And I think this is going to be a really, really interesting match. Clearly, Charlie Winston, when he debuted with such a presence. And clearly, I've never seen anything like it, really. The guy looked intimidating. This guy looks like a psychopath. I don't think Gaz Norks has faced anything like this. I'm really looking forward to seeing sort of how Gaz is going to deal with somebody that's a lot, not so much muscly, bigger, but a lot taller.
Yeah, I think, I said that Jago was Gaz's biggest test, and up until that point, up until the 14th, yeah, Jago has been his biggest test, but Charlie Winston is his biggest test. I hope Gaz is watching his tapes. I hope he's studying, but I hope Charlie's doing the same, because Gaz isn't to be taken lightly. He may be smaller, but he's got that inner strength. I was really impressed with Charlie Winston. I'm so glad I put him in the tournament. A key asset to this tournament, a great acquisition for LEP. I really want to see more of Charlie Winston in LEP, but that's down to me and management to talk about. So, yeah, hopefully we can get Charlie Winston on board and have him at a lot more shows.
Oh, definitely. I was going to say, talking about this match, I think clearly I've got to give you accolade for bringing in Charlie Winston, the scouting you've done to bring this fantastic wrestler to LEP. Like, this guy's wrestled in Canada, WAW, all across the world and the country as well. And I think it's a really fantastic acquisition that just shows sort of how good and how important the LEP title tournament really is.
Yeah, definitely. He's like a great powerhouse, and we've got a couple of powerhouses, but not one that can move like Charlie, so, and he can stand his ground. He had a great showing against John Harden in the quarterfinal and got the win, obviously. So yeah, it would be great to see what he can do to Gaz. Gaz is got a tough task ahead in Charlie Winston.
This is going to be a classic. Definitely looking forward to seeing this. So please make sure October 14th you all attend that show. It's going to be a fantastic show, certainly. We're then going into the other half of the semi-final of the World Title Tournament, and we've got Danny Walsh facing Jason King. So this is tied at 1-1, and these are two fantastic wrestlers, both legendary to LEP. This is going to be a really fantastic match, and I'm really looking forward to seeing which way this goes. Let's explain for people that may have missed it. How did Jason King sort of come into the tournament? How did that happen?
Well, unfortunately, due to Dead Man's Hand, Mark Walsh wasn't able to remain in the tournament. So that's why I put Jason in the tournament to go up against Scott Johns. And straight within 30 seconds, well, I think the match itself from entrance to end was 5 minutes. It took Jason 5 minutes due to getting Scott Johns wound up and everything like that, and he straight away hit the crown jewels, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Jason proved straight away, and he looked at me as if to say, "I told you should have put me in the tournament." And I was, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I should have listened. Raised his hand, and there we are. And now he's in the the semi-finals against Danny Walsh, of all people, his mentor. He won, it would have been 2 years ago that he won the LEP Academy Championship, and he faced Danny Walsh. They're currently 1-1, so they're both at equal, so they're both going to want to win this match. They know each other so well, very, very well. Before LEP, they knew each other, so this is going to be really interesting to see, and I'll be honest, I can't call it. Usually I can say, I think this guy. No, I can't call this one.
I think there's a couple of key observations. So let's put this out there. So Jason King's obviously coming off a fantastic pay-per-view appearance for World All-Stars Wrestling up in Norwich. So I think this guy clearly is of that caliber, and he's clearly fantastic. But you've got Danny Walsh. Danny Walsh is such an experienced journeyman in wrestling. And clearly this guy, when the world title belt's involved, he changes. He goes from being sort of a fun-loving, friendly approaching person to being sort of the belt's his whole focus. And I think what really concerns me with this is Danny's willing to maybe take that risk where Jason won't. I think Danny, if he needs to, will may potentially call and help. I just hope that this is a one-on-one match, and I really hope that we don't see a repeat of what happened sort of not this show, the show before, what happened to you really. I really hope that this is just one-on-one idea.
Well, yeah, I hope it's one-on-one as well. I'm going to do my damn best to make sure it is, one-on-one, and it remains one-on-one. In terms of saying that, yeah, Danny does change when heavyweight gold's involved, but I think Jason is the same. He's not just gonna take this lightly. He's gonna bring 110% because he wants that gold. He's wanted that gold for a while now, and he feels he's not entitled, but he deserves. With all the hard work he's put in for LEP and many other promotions across Devon, and even as far as, like you say, Norwich at the World Association of Wrestling. And it's WAW. It's amazing what he's doing at the moment. So yeah, both guys are going to come in with 110%. They really are.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute classic. So clearly, whoever gets through to the final leads us nicely on to our next event that we're quickly going to mention as well. Tell us about the LEP Big Weekend that's coming up later this month.
Yeah, we've got a huge weekend, Halloween weekend for you guys. We are down in St Austell in Cornwall on the 28th of October. That's when the big weekend starts. Great Halloween show we're going to have for you down there. So, if you're up for travelling and everything, or if there are, Cornish fans listening right now, you don't have to wait for another show to come along, in November or December or whatever. You've got LEP in October 28th, St Austell at the Cornucopia. That's where you want to be on the 28th. Then, on the 29th in the afternoon, we've got a great afternoon show involved. Want to really stress that you need to book tickets now to avoid disappointment. We are starting to sell really fast. So get your tickets. There are posters around everywhere. You can order your tickets on skiddle.com or reserve them by messaging the Torquay Wrestling Facebook page. We got two huge stars coming down. We've got the Prince of Mumbai, Rishi Ghosh, coming down, and the hardcore powerhouse Carl Atlas is coming down. And we've also got none other than Connie, which is Klondike Kate's daughter. I don't know if some of you listening should remember Klondike Kate from the World Sport days. She will be at the Acorn Centre at the Super Show as well, taking on, obviously, none other than Ruthless Ruth Jackson. So that is a big test for Ruth Jackson as well. So that will be October 29th, big Halloween special at the Acorn Centre, Torquay. And on the 28th of October, Cornucopia, St Austell, Cornwall, for another big Halloween show.
Brilliant. I'm just going to put this out there now. Make sure everybody, you get your tickets for this show. Clearly, the Super Shows, stuff always happens, and it's always going to be a massive thing. You clearly won't know what to expect or what's going to happen next, really. I think that's a place where sort of a lot of things are going to change. And obviously, we're going to crown our first ever LEP World Champion at the Super Show as well, which is going to make it a must-see show, surely, as well.
Yeah, we're going to crown a brand new LEP Heavyweight Champion. If you're invested in this tournament, which I know a lot of you are, make sure you get to Payton as well, because that's where our semi-finals are taking place, where as we've just mentioned, we've got Gaz Norks versus Charlie Winston and Danny Walsh versus Jason King. And then 29th of October, we will hold our finals for the LEP Heavyweight Championship.
Brilliant. I was going to say, one last plug as well. We've also got on the 29th, as part of the big weekend, the Wrestling Boot Camp as well that's going to be taking place. This will also be taking place at the Acorn Centre, and that's between 12 and 2 o'clock. And this is a fantastic opportunity to really, if you are interested in getting involved in the wrestling business, it's a great opportunity, isn't it, Joe?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you can come down, and train with a couple of the wrestlers that are also part of the LEP Academy, and that are also going to be there on the show. So it kind of gives you a taster, and as in you can feel out if if this is for you. If it isn't, okay, fair enough. At least you've tried. Come down to the boot camp. It will be an amazing experience. I guarantee you.
Excellent. Thank you all for listening. This has been the LEP show review. Please don't forget to get your tickets for the next shows coming up. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, George Jones. I've been joined by the LEP General Manager, John Joe Obrey. Thank you for listening. Thank you.